The stunts that you have pulled are the last-ditch efforts of someone who recognizes that their reckoning is coming. And today, Mr. Lychwick, you are out of stunts, you are out of options, you are out of tricks, you are out of carnival acts. Today, your reckoning has come, and justice will be served on you today, Mr. Lychwick.
Today, we're looking at the tragic and infuriating case of Kevin Lychwick out of Waukesha, Wisconsin. In 2024, Lychwick shot his 56-year-old neighbor, Carlos Maldonado, in cold blood and dumped his body in the woods like trash. During his trial, Lychwick decided to represent himself, and let's just say his narcissistic, condescending attitude didn't win over the jury, who convicted him of first-degree intentional homicide in under an hour. Now, we are at his sentencing hearing, where he is about to face the raw grief of the victim's family and a judge who is entirely out of patience with his courtroom stunts. Let's get into it.
I object to this diatribe.
Your objection is overruled, Mr. Lychwick. The state has a right to put on their argument for sentencing. I will hear from you. I am hearing from the state now. It is not your turn. Attorney Thompson, go ahead.
Thank you. When we look at that particular part of the PSI, he talks about filing a complaint against an officer back in 1982 when the officer tried to run him over, in his words. I doubt that happened, but somehow the officers remembered this incident 17 years later when he was arrested for disorderly conduct. The next part is interesting because when the defendant is asked if he kept track of the officer, he said yes. And the reason why that's interesting is because it shows this court and the state that his hunting, his stalking of people goes back decades. We saw an alarming amount of discussion in the PSI about a female who lives in Iowa and how at the time, right before he was arrested, she was 17 years old. When I look at how much time was taken up in this PSI talking about her, he's obsessed with her. Mr. Lychwick is still in love with her. He talks about how they met online and they would converse through various social media accounts, one of which was Kik, which I know this court is very familiar with, and we see it often in sensitive crimes type of cases. But in Wisconsin, she's underage. He is 60 years old, trying to have a relationship with a 17-year-old.
If you're wondering why the prosecutor is bringing up an underage girl from Iowa during a murder sentencing, it all comes down to the PSI, or pre-sentence investigation report. In Wisconsin, as in most states, sentencing isn't just about the crime itself. It's an evaluation of the defendant's overall character. Legally, the state can introduce prior bad acts, even uncharged ones, to prove to the judge that this guy has a pattern of predatory behavior and remains an ongoing danger to the public. It completely shatters any illusion the defense might try to paint that this murder was just an isolated incident.
When we talk about the female who we heard a little bit about in the trial, the one who lived in Minnesota, when we look at all of the searches and the notebooks and the paperwork and the documentation that Mr. Lychwick had gathered on this individual from Minnesota, I think she was the next target because she had the most information about her in all of his records. It's his notebook, his handwriting, in his apartment, and oh, by the way, we sent that handwriting sample and known handwriting samples to the FBI, and that analyst determined that Mr. Lychwick is the author. So when we listen or when we read his statements in the PSI and compare it to the evidence here, he just can't help himself. He can't keep up with all these stories that he's spinning. And he had taken Mr. Lychwick's clothes out of the dryer so he could continue doing his laundry. That led to an altercation in which Mr. Lychwick called Carlos a racial slur.
This is outrageous. I refuse to listen to this. I had
Mr.
nothing to
Lychwick,
do with this man.
stop
These are
right
all
now.
lies.
Mr. Lychwick, this is your second warning from the court to stop your outbursts. If you continue with this, I'm going to have you removed from your own sentencing hearing. You will not have an opportunity to participate.
Now, look at what the judge does right here. Lychwick is throwing a literal temper tantrum because his fragile ego can't handle being called out. Under the Sixth Amendment, a criminal defendant has the constitutional right to be present at all phases of their trial, including sentencing. But that right isn't absolute. Thanks to a Supreme Court precedent set in Illinois versus Allen, if a defendant is being highly disruptive, they forfeit that right. The judge is legally warning him that she has the authority to throw him out of the courtroom and sentence an empty chair. And honestly, he's testing her limits.
He ambushed him at the top of that hill. He knew Carlos would go up there to smoke, and he shot him twice. 2 intentional shots. Now, we heard from the medical examiner that the soft tissue is gone, so there's a lot of unanswered questions in terms of range, how long between the shots, which shot was first. But my theory is that he shot him in the abdomen first, and then he shot Carlos in the head. And he left him there. He covered him up, but just left him there like trash. We saw from the phone evidence, the Gmail account evidence, that he was considering Carlos to just be rotten meat or an animal carcass. That's the character of the person that sits before the court today. I'm trying to think of the word, but what got him out of that tantrum, I suppose, was the medical examiner's testimony. Because when I started showing photos from the autopsy, he looks up, almost like he's admiring his work. It was eerie and extremely unsettling to see. First, Judge, we have victim C.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, ma'am.
To the person who took my brother away.
Ma'am, could you make sure that you, try to keep the
To
microphone.
the person who took my brother away, my brother's life away. This is my older sister speaking to you, Kevin. She says, by taking my first brother, my second brother, because she's the oldest, losing the second born, my brother has been, can you hold up the microphone for me? Has been one of the most painful experience in our family that I have ever endured. You made a decision that had no right, you had no right to make.
Ma'am,
You decided.
Ma'am, I'm going to interrupt you just one moment. I'm going to let you continue with your statement, certainly, but I want you to direct your comments to me, okay? You can still continue with everything that you have written. Just speak to me, okay?
You decided that my brother's life should end. You took it upon yourself to play God. Sorry. Deciding that my brother, as a human being, should be dead. But let me let you know, you're not gone. You're not gone. My brother had already been given a second chance in life. He had fought through cancer and endured what he had endured, and came out of other side, came out to the other side finally. We went. We were so happy. We were celebrating his life and looking forward to do years with him. We watch him begin his life again, and we were grateful that he had a second chance in life that you took. You did not only murder my brother, you changed your whole family. You changed our lives forever. You took a son from a mother, a brother from sisters and brothers, and a whole future from us. There are family gatherings and ordinary days that we won't have him anymore, and that's going to be very painful. Someone who should be here with us is missing. Our mother has Alzheimer's disease, and she's as painful as it is. We're grateful that she really doesn't understand that someone is missing. We always tell her her baby's coming, he's around. She has already endured more tragedies, and the loss of another child is devastating. We are thankful that she has this condition. She doesn't know what's going on. Because it's really hard to explain to her that he's not coming to that birthday. And that's something that you're never gonna give us back. As a Jehovah's Witness, I chose not to fill my heart with hate. My faith reaches me the truth, the trust of Jehovah. And I leave justice in his hands. That does not mean what you did is forgiven or forgotten. It means that I do not have to become consumed by the darkness of what you did. You will have to live with consequences of your action. You may try to justify or distance yourself from what happened, but the fact remains: the human life was taken, and an entire family was left empty to carry the pain. My family will continue living. We will continue loving my brother and speaking about him and remembering him. We're not going to forget my brother. One day, justice will completely in Jehovah's hands. Until then, I would not give you the satisfaction of destroying my peace. My brother life meant something. His family lost him, and his memory will always remain with us.
That is absolutely heartbreaking. What we're watching here is a victim impact statement. Under Wisconsin's Constitution and the Crime Victims' Rights Act, the families of victims have an absolute legal right to address the court before the final sentence is handed down. These statements aren't about proving guilt. The jury already did that. They are designed to give the judge a full picture of the emotional and psychological devastation the crime caused. When a judge balances mitigating factors against aggravating factors, hearing this kind of raw grief almost guarantees they'll lean toward the absolute maximum penalty.
And you, ma'am, are victim B?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
I forgot my actual notes at home, so I'm kind of just speaking from the heart. But throughout this entire time, it has been the hardest time of my life. At the end of the day, this shouldn't have happened, and I think the defendant tried to play God, and I don't think anybody has that right. My dad was supposed to be here. My dad was supposed to live longer. Like my aunt said, he had been in remission for cancer. He had other medical things happen, but he came out on the other side. This was his second chance, and I don't get to I'm sorry. I will never get to see my dad again. Throughout this entire time, Kevin has made this about himself. He has made this extremely hard. I'm sorry, let me breathe.
Take your time.
He has made this all about himself. He can't admit what he did, even though all the evidence is there. He claims that other people did this to him, and I bet this has been something that he's been doing his entire life, of blaming people for the actions that he committed. The thing is, at the end of the day, maybe God will forgive you, but I won't. I won't. I will never forgive you. My dad, he wasn't perfect, but he was trying. No person is perfect in this world. I will admit that. But my dad was trying to be better, and he was better to me. He became my best friend the last year of his life. I lost. He wanted to meet my boyfriend. That was the last conversation we had. Weeks before that, or months before that, he told me about how Kevin called him a derogatory slur in the laundry room. I don't know if this was racially motivated. I don't know if he just hated my dad. I guess I'll never have the answer because you won't admit it. And I don't understand why you won't. I don't get it. I don't care. I'm sorry. I think that he should have the longest sentence imposed. I think he deserves the longest sentence he can get, because I get to spend my entire life without my dad. Now, my dad, he can't redeem himself for his mistakes that he wanted to redeem so badly. He was slowly becoming better each and every day. He became the dad that I so truly wanted, and I had to. This has been traumatic for me. I wasn't able to get out of bed for weeks. I cried and cried because why? I called out for answers. I contacted a psychic. This has been so incredibly draining and hard. And it has hurt my soul in a level that I've never been hurt before. So yes, I believe he should get the longest sentence. Thank you.
Thank you.
First of all, the prosecution, they're relating the PSI report, which was badly written and exaggerated, full of misquotes. I didn't bring the report with my notes on it with me because I didn't think I would need it, but I was going to address that later upon appeal. But I must say that it is absolute libel and slander. And I've had to sit here and endure this. The court and the prosecution and the police here have strung the poor decedent's family along and played them, just as they have done me. And they have left the guilty parties out there. I believe there was more than one person involved, and one of them is on the run, having been called to testify here on a subpoena and is now in contempt of court. I wasn't able to bring that up, and many other facts up in court. The prosecution, Ms. Thompson, kept bringing up and accusing me of things that were not brought up in trial, that I did not have a chance to object to in trial. She's had a chance to use that to libel and slander me here now. At this time, I would like to give my summation to the court. Is that appropriate, Your Honor?
This is your opportunity to allocute, Mr. Lychwick.
I address the court on this dark day for justice by declaring again my innocence in this matter. At no time have I ever killed anyone, nor did I have any part of the tragedy that befell the decedent, Mr. Maldonado. I did not know this man, nor did he know me. I do not know his family, nor do they know me. My forced trial in this matter was a travesty of justice. I reaffirm this. And I shall fight to clear my good name and overturn this unjust conviction as long as it takes, and to see that justice is served upon those who have wrought this immeasurable suffering upon myself and upon the relatives and loved ones of Mr. Maldonado as well. At this time, I have nothing more to say to this court.
Classic narcissist behavior. This was Lychwick's allocution, his legal right to directly address the judge and speak on his own behalf before sentencing. Usually, this is where a competent lawyer begs their client to cry, apologize, and show deep remorse, because genuine remorse is a massive mitigating factor that can actually lower a sentence. Instead, Lychwick doubles down, plays the victim, claims he's being framed, and shows zero empathy. In the eyes of the law, a total lack of remorse is a giant neon sign to the judge saying, "I will absolutely do this again if you let me out." It is legal suicide.
Mr. Lychwick, your protestations in this case are the fantasies and the ragings of a narcissist. That's what it comes down to. There was a mountain of evidence that was overwhelming that proved your guilt. And instead, you complained and complained and made it about you. This is the most serious offense that we have in our state. The legislature has determined that the appropriate punishment is life imprisonment and leaves it to the discretion of the trial court whether or not to make you eligible for release. The hiding a corpse count carries with it a 12.5-year sentence. It is also a serious crime. The need to protect the public is paramount in these cases. It goes without saying, anyone who believes they have the proper motivation and right to kill someone else in cold blood, as you did, and as the state said, probably execution style, the community needs ultimate protection from that person. And the only way the community can be protected is through confinement. Your character, Mr. Lychwick, is aggravating in this case. And I say aggravating in the context of whether you have a more mitigated character or an aggravated character. It is aggravated. The stunts that you have pulled are the last-ditch efforts of someone who recognizes that their reckoning is coming. And today, Mr. Lychwick, you are out of stunts, you are out of options, you are out of tricks, you are out of carnival acts. Today, your reckoning has come, and justice will be served on you today, Mr. Lychwick. This is the most aggravated case. The need to protect the public is in the most aggravated category, and your character is in the most aggravated category. And therefore, balancing all of the sentencing factors here, it is the sentence of the court as to count 2 that you serve 12.5 years in prison. That will be 7.5 years of initial confinement, 5 years of extended supervision. The court believes the maximum sentence on hiding a corpse is appropriate here because in the context of hiding a corpse, this is one of the most aggravated ways that crime can be committed. And given the context of the homicide, the court believes a maximum sentence on count 2 is appropriate. That sentence will run consecutive to any other sentence.
And boom, the judge drops the hammer. Notice how she explicitly says the sentence for hiding a corpse will run consecutive to the homicide charge. In legal terms, concurrent means you serve your sentences at the exact same time. Consecutive means they stack back to back like blocks. You have to finish one before the other even begins. By making it consecutive, the judge is legally ensuring that even if some miracle happens and his murder conviction is ever reduced on appeal decades from now, he still owes the state a completely separate chunk of time in prison. She is locking the door and throwing away the key.
As to count 1, first-degree intentional homicide, the court is sentencing you to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Mr. Lychwick, you will spend the rest of your life in prison.
I wish to file my appeal and direct and motion to seek post-conviction relief.
File your motion. We are adjourned.
And that is exactly how a narcissist meets reality. In June 2026, it took a Waukesha County jury less than an hour to see through Kevin Lychwick's delusions and find him guilty of first-degree intentional homicide and hiding a corpse. As we just saw, the judge gave him absolutely no mercy. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 12.5 years stacked on top of that for hiding Carlos's body. Lychwick will spend the rest of his natural life behind bars, completely unable to terrorize anyone ever again. Let me know what you thought of this judge's handling of the courtroom in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.